Thank you all for joining. So we'll go ahead and kick off our fun time together today with some FAQs. So you can use the chat for any comments you have throughout the session. That's the area that you were using just now to introduce yourself and say where you're from. There's also a little Q&A button there at the bottom of your Zoom that allows you to actually submit questions directly to us throughout the webinar that we can sort of take and answer during our Q&A session at the end. So feel free to ask questions there as well. When you came in, you should have been notified that this session is being recorded and it will be shared with you as soon as we're all done today. Feel free to share it with your colleagues and your peers. We've got some exciting information we're sharing with you today. We hope that you are as excited as we are to share it. We'd love also for you to engage with us on social media using the hashtag Mongoose. We would love to just connect with you. We're growing our social media following and would love to see what you're up to and would love to keep you informed with what we're up to as well. So that's some of our FAQs getting us started. And now I'm going to turn it over to our panel today. The fabulous Dave Marshall and Kelsey Walbesser are going to take it away from here. So Dave, over to you.
Fabulous, man. So thank you for doing all of that stuff. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Marshall. I am the founder and CEO here at Mongoose. And I'm thrilled that you are all here. And I'm very hopeful and optimistic that you're going to find a lot of value here today.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Kelsey. I recognize lots of your names in the chat. So hi, if I've worked with you over the years, but I'm the sales engineer here at Mongoose. And over the past 6 years, I've had the opportunity to work with many of you and many of our partners to get the most out of Mongoose. So I'm really excited to be with you here today, and I'm looking forward to diving in.
Okay, so in terms of agenda, we're going to start with why demonstrating value is important and how critical it can be and how helpful that it can be. Then we're going to talk about, well, what is an impact story? And then we're going to walk through how to create your impact story, how to share your impact story. I have a very significant update on our product roadmap that I would like to share with you. And then we're going to go into Q&A. So why don't we do that? So why is it important to be able to demonstrate impact? What's happening across the market is that from an institutional perspective, that schools are wanting to make sure that they are spending on the things that create an impact, and that's great. And institutions are more and more being asked to reach more students in a more effective way, and sometimes with less staff. So that's a reality that many of you, your heads are probably nodding. So, teams are expected to increase how effective they are, but not how big they are. And from that's all that pressure is all happening while students expect fast, mobile friendly experiences that are optimized for their phones. They have a low tolerance for fragmented experiences, and they can't help but compare the experience that they're having with institutions to the experiences that they're having in everyday life. So Netflix and Amazon. So all of that to say is everyone's being asked to do more with fewer people and still deliver on an Amazon level experience. So that's the challenge. And when institutions consolidate tools, they don't want to cut the tool that's working. And so that's why it's really important to provide clarity as to how much impact you and your teams are making. I can tell you that from our seat, when in institution, if the budget was cut and the institution decides no longer to use Mongoose, almost always the users that use the product don't want that. And many times that results in the institution having a down year from an engagement and outcome perspective, and then they come back. So like, let's get in front of that, right? So what the lens that leadership has, so leadership doesn't really need more dashboards. They need decision level evidence that impact is happening. So our goal, isn't to report activity that is happening within Mongoose or within your team. The goal is the ability to connect the activity to outcomes. So what changed because of the activity, and ensure that it's aligned to the institutional priorities. It's aligned to the strategic plan, and hopefully your team's goals are aligned to that plan too. So it's really wanting to make sure that we are being clear with how the collective you all, are able to communicate with your coworkers, with leadership as to how much value you're getting out of the product. And so that, I just wanted to share the lens that leadership has. So what does making an impact actually mean? It would mean different things to different people, maybe different teams. Maybe it's quantity of enrolled students or how much you've helped students or something like that. But I would love to hear in your own words, what does making an impact mean? So if you would like to pull out your phone and scan the QR code, what you type is going to come up on the screen here so that we all get to see everybody else's versions of what does making an impact actually mean. Love that first one. Well, it was the first one. Making people's lives easier. Let's see if we can. I can pull it up over on my side to read more of them. One second. Helping our students succeed, student experience, students succeeding, meeting students where they're at, helping students, having it's scrolling, so it's hard, having authentic communications with students. Love that. Helping students reach their goal while contributing to our institution's strategic goals, helping students meet their goals, increase a sense of belonging, huge, measured through increased retention and overall student satisfaction. Impact is connections, and there we go. Having an unwavering, love it, commitment to student development. That's great. Yeah, altering how something is perceived or changing the way people understand. There's so many misconceptions that students have, their perceptions of affordability and outcomes. There's no one here to help me. And if you can reframe those things, that's excellent. So thank you all very much for that. So
Perfect.
Kelsey, if we're going to be creating an impact story to show the impact that we're having, where do we get the data to do that from?
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you for sharing all that and talking through why value matters. I just want to spend a few minutes on how you can actually tell your impact story with data. So there are two main sources of information that you can use to demonstrate results and share your success internally. The first one is the output that you receive during your Mongoose quarterly reviews, or MQRs as we call that. That would be with your dedicated client success or support team. If you haven't had one yet, I highly suggest reaching out to your Mongoose team and scheduling one. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second here, but the second source of information is actually our in-product reporting, which I'll show you here shortly as well. This allows you to access real-time insights anytime that you need it. So just to cover the MQR real quick before I jump into product, just a couple of things you can expect during an MQR. We are able to provide 90-day comparison, so you can see some short-term momentum and trends. We'll also share year-over-year activity, insights into your most engaged times of day, days of the week, a team level breakdown, and even peer institution benchmarking so you can understand how your engagement compares to similar schools. So all of that is designed to help you move beyond just, we're sending out messages or chats and instead confidently say, here's the impact that we're making. So Dave, if you want to move on to the next slide, I want to talk through where to find that data that helps tell your impact story inside of Mongoose. So there are a few key sections here, and I'll share my screen shortly, but there are a few key sections here in the platform that are especially helpful when you're looking for proof points that show your work is making a difference. The first place is the Sent tab. We'll go over that, but that's very specific reporting on a single message or segment. The second place is the Text and Chat Insights tab. The third place is your dashboard. And then we'll talk about some conversations within that as well. So as we're reviewing these areas and as you're looking into these areas when you're in Mongoose, just a simple tip is when you see a report or a view that clearly shows impact and something that has helped move the needle, we highly suggest taking a screenshot of that. So this isn't just analytics for analytics' sakes. These are proof points. You don't need to export everything. You don't need to be a data analyst. You just need a few clear outputs that help you tell a strong story. So at this time, Dave, if you want to stop sharing, I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll
Okay.
jump to the platform.
So I did just kind of want to lean in on clarity here. So that MQR recording, everyone gets a link to watch the MQR back, and you can then you can copy paste the transcript. And why would we be taking screenshots of screens in the product that show impact? We're going to be putting them all into AI, and AI is going to write the impact story for you. So that's why, I just wanted to make sure that that part was clear.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Okay, then. So jumping into the platform. So this is what you all know and love, the Mongoose platform. So to start here with what I shared, we'll want to first look at the Sent tab. So that's where we get into the nitty gritty of the messages that you're actually sending. So under conversations, you select that inbox in which you sent the message from, go into the Sent tab, open that message. This is really great to highlight if you've had a really successful Giving Day text or you've utilized a smart message that performed really well. Maybe you had just an initiative that you needed to send a large text out to that you wanted to share with leadership. Hey, this is how texting performed and why we were successful in this area. So you can go to the Sent tab. You can view here information like how many people you reached, your delivery rate, how many people replied, of course, what the message looks like. But then specifically in this example, if you're sharing a smart message with leadership, you can even see the breakdown and results of that. So that's where you can go to get the very black and white, here's a message that was sent to a segment, whatnot, and get details there. When sending messages out of Mongoose, you are able to track messages under campaigns. Campaigns are a way to essentially group together multiple messages and view reporting for the sum. So, under your Sent tab, you could always click on a campaign as well and get a little bit more insights. So, this is maybe where you would want to take a screenshot as well, like Dave was referring to summarize in your storytelling of how many people you reached based on a specific initiative or campaign, even down to the average contact reply time. So, your Sent tab and your campaign structures are a great place to start for individual messages. From there, we can expand a little bit more and look at a more holistic view under our text and chat insights. So, under intelligence, performance insights, there is a text and chat insights tab. This is where you can get a larger picture of how your team is performing. If you are part of multiple teams within the Mongoose platform, you can select which team you'd like to look at holistically. You can also select within a specific time frame. So in this example, I'm just looking over the last year, and I can see a really nice recap of how many messages we've sent, received, contacts we've reached, the percentage of contacts that replied. I'm even able to see that from a user standpoint. So this is great if you want to report back to leadership or tell a story of how your team is performing and each individual's reply rates, how many contacts they've reached, etc. You're able to see that broken down per inbox as well. So if you have multiple shared inbox, and then of course your campaigns. So this is a really great place to see overall text insights to build into the greater story. Same thing goes with our chat analytics. So if you utilize our chatbot on your website, you are able to look within a specific time frame as well and see how many conversations have been had within the bot, how many have converted to lead capture, how many mobile numbers you captured, which is a very powerful story to tell, directly through the chatbot, how many contacts have you engaged with, how many have provided their mobile numbers. That's great ROI there. You can even see when the conversations by time of day are happening. So this is really great for planning and just overall insights into how the bot is performing and how your visitors are seeing that activity. Once again, you can see that broken down by users. So this is another place that I would highly recommend taking screenshots for our AI prompt that we'll be sharing shortly. Lastly, our dashboard. So our dashboard is this third step here of where you can gather insights. It's once again, it's more holistic, but this provides you with more of a story from a sentiment standpoint. So we use AI to analyze our conversations and provide sentiment overviews. So as you can see here, I can look across the entire organization, so the entire institution, or just my team or my personal conversations and see how are contacts feeling. Are they experiencing joy? Are they confused? Are they angry? You get a nice recap and sentiment overview here. Of course, we want that to be positive. If it's not, we can make adjustments. And once again, having your quarterly review with your dedicated Mongoose team is a great way to dive into that more. But this is a great place to just grab a screenshot of your overall sentiment analysis for your team. Here you can even see things like top trending topics over the specific time period, as well as how many conversations you're having per contact. We also have a section here of the dashboard around resolution status. So if you haven't played around with this yet, this is a great place to look into and really great to brag about. So if you're wanting to show that your team is actively using Mongoose, is actively resolving questions that contacts are having, sharing your resolution status with leadership is a great place to start. So we can categorize conversations if they're resolved, meaning that a staff member's responded to an incoming message and answered that question or the conversation's wrapped up. if that staff member responded, but the conversation's ongoing and we're continuing to help that contact. And then if there's any unresolved conversations, which means a staff member just didn't respond to an incoming message within 3 days. At any point, you can always recategorize those. So if you did have that follow-up and you can make something go from unresolved to resolved, you can update that all here. But just wanted to share that conversations is a great place to go to just brag about how your team is performing and handling the incoming messages within Mongoose. All right. Save all of your questions. We definitely want to answer them as we go throughout. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Dave, if you want to pull it back up.
Thank you, Kelsey. By the way, we will be emailing out after this, creating your impact story toolkit. So you'll have the list of places in the product that you should go to, and you'll have, how to grab the transcript from your MQR and everything else that we're going to talk about from here on as well. So, what makes data executive ready or leadership ready? Well, the first thing that we need is activity. And so that activity is being captured, with what you just saw with Kelsey. This is how many text conversations we had, and this was the reaction to it. But then we need to include what the outcome was. Often a lot of that outcome, those outcomes are talked about during the MQR, so they exist in the transcript, so that AI could know, oh, we are welcoming in our largest class or whatever it was. So these are things that you anecdotally know. And then third, that it has to be aligned to the strategic goals of the institution and of your team. So if we can properly capture what the activities were and what the outcomes were, and if it's aligned or not, you have a really high value impact story. So what we're going to do is use AI to help. So on the left-hand side, you see all of the things that if you were able to copy in and paste the transcript from your most recent quarterly review into AI, and you can drag over the screenshots that you thought it effectively showed valuable activity. And then almost all institutions have their strategic plans online, so you can include a link. Hey, AI, our strategic initiatives are this, and just point to the URL. And you might also want to clarify to the AI model what your team's priorities are. So when I say AI model, I'm talking about Chat GPT, Claude, Gemini, those types of things. Could even use notebook.lm and they'd make you a podcast about your impact story, which might be a neat thing to try, actually. So then you're going to want to, have an impact story AI prompt. So like when you go into Chat GPT, you can't just like give it information and hit send. You need to tell it like what's the prompt. And so we've actually created a prompt that we will be sending out after this, but it will talk about like prepare a concise one-page executive summary for my leadership team at the institution. It don't confuse it with other source materials, what your goals were. It has it's this big long prompt that Andrew Veach from Mongoose, who's smarter than me, he put that prompt together. And so we will be sharing that with you all. So we're going to be using AI to translate and create the impact story. And this used to take, I mean, if you were to have to like look at your strategic plans, kind of get your head around all of the activities that were done within Mongoose and what the outcomes were, and like write a paper on it, that would take weeks probably. But we can just now do this in minutes. And AI doesn't create, the truth. It just creates a narrative from the evidence that you gave it. So move over here. The process is you're going to customize the prompt, and you can write your own prompt. Like I did this, and I'm like, create me a 1-page thing about this, and this. Like that'll work too. I would just say that the prompt that we're going to give you might even work better. So, so you create the prompt, and then AI will then create the narrative for you, and they will say, here's how I would frame it. You did all this activity and this outcome, and this is how it's aligned to the strategic plan. Definitely review the output of what the AI made, right? Because you may not have wanted to use certain words, or it could hallucinate a little bit in various sections. So anyway, don't send the PDF of the output on. You want to read it, and you might want to make some changes. And then what you're left with is leadership ready output. And this can take 5 minutes. Like it's wild. So, like I said, make sure you read the output, because you might want to make some tweaks. What we did to kind of make sure that we wrote a really good prompt was we took one of our client institutions that may or may not be on this call. I haven't checked. We took the transcript of an actual MQR conversation where they talked about all of the activity and some of the outcomes. And we took some results from within our product, and then we changed the school name to Mongoose University. So what I'm going to show you on this next slide is the output that the AI model made. The output that you're going to see was actually made by Claude, but any of them can do this. So this is an actual example of the output that was created by AI in minutes, from an actual transcript from an MQR and product stats. And that's it. And it came out with, this summary reviews. Mongoose University is the name we changed. It, talked about the student services reply rate, how many texts were sent. I think this was in a 3-month period. And then in the MQRs, we were like benchmarking their performance versus other schools. So it called that out, and it called out a very low opt-out rate. So that they're keeping students engaged. While I told it to do all 1 page, here, it actually did like just into 2 pages. But I wanted to copy and paste the text that was on page 2 because I thought it was so good. So school names, communication outcomes this year are a direct expression of the strategic agenda in action. That's what that school, that's their words. That they don't have a plan. It's the strategic agenda. And then I highlighted and bold all of the key initiatives and keywords that are used in that agenda. And so AI then talks about how this student success model exemplifies the commitment to personalized relationship-based support, meaningful cross-campus connection, serve students more intelligently, and operational efficiency gains. They all have those. So it just spells the whole thing out for you. And so what we've talked about so far is, why is telling an impact story important? Because we need to prove value, and just be clear about the value that you and your great team are creating with students. So we talked about that, and then we talked about where to get the data, and then we talked about how to use AI to actually create this output. So what do we do with it now? Sharing the story internally, and there's going to be another poll here coming up next, but you want to frame it that you're celebrating the team, right? You're celebrating what you guys have been able to do because you're proud of it and because it's working. It also strengthens your position when it comes time to, should we consolidate tools? Which one should we keep? Because we all want to keep the things that are working, right? And this can also really strengthen your personal professional brand, that wow, this person was able to take the activity that they see in their day-to-day job and connect it to the institution-wide plan and like lay it all out for me. Like, that's awesome. Your team will be happier too. So this next slide is, what are ways that you envision being able to share your impact story, whether it be a team meeting, an email, a portal? I don't know. I don't want to lead you, but how would you envision yourself sharing the output of your impact story? Presentation at supervisors meeting, sitting down in a team meeting, through a report. Division has an annual catalog that is distributed throughout the university. Board of trustees, yes, now we're talking. Yeah. And even like in a cabinet meeting, VPs that are in that want to bring how they are contributing, how their team's work is contributing to the strategic plan. It's like currency to them. Like, they want to bring that to show the value that their teams are having. Present at board of trustees, team meeting, board meeting, to brag about our fantastic team. Love that energy. Great. So thank you all. Those all make a ton of sense. And I'm flipping windows over here. So I wanted to give you an update on our product strategy, our product roadmap, and then we're going to go to Q&A. Okay. So in 2026, we are focusing our strategy on increasing your capacity and service level. That is, how can we give you solutions that make your day-to-day easier and make more students' lives better, and doing it perhaps less staff and less time, right? So it's all about the efficiencies there. So that's one theme. The other is using AI to guide the next best action. So currently our product is, you can go in there and you can look at the dashboard, you say, oh, these are what's resolved and unresolved, and you go to the top of your inbox and you start to look at what the student wrote and archive it and whatever. It doesn't put you in a spot to really know, based on all this data, based on what we know about your strategic plan, based on what we know about your team goals, based on all of the content in the conversations. What should you do next? Mongoose should be telling you what you should do next to get the most impact. So those are the two themes for 2026. And the way in which we are delivering on that theme. Now we are sharing this with you all. You are the we have a handful of early access clients, but other than them, you are the first ones to be hearing about this. That we will be introducing Mongoose AI agents. So what is an AI agent? Mongoose AI agents are always on assistants that live inside your existing Mongoose environment and work on behalf of your team. So to get your head around, like, wait, so how does that work? Basically, they are intelligent assistants that do work for you, with you, that you ask to do things. So and these agents, some of them will be agents that are directly for you. Like, hey, um, if we had like a data analyst agent, just ask the agent what this means, or how do I correlate this, and make it do all that work for you. And then there's agents that have functionality that are optimized for enrollment. So how do we get more complete apps? How do we improve our yield rate? How do we take the burden off of staff? So I'm keeping this high level. I would love to give you more granular examples, but then we have agents that are focused on student success, student satisfaction, retention, and persistence, and then advancement. So I want to be clear about something. AI agents are not an enhancement to Mongoose. They are not like a new feature. They represent a categorical expansion of what it is that Mongoose even is. Okay. We are moving from a platform that's focused on communication to a system that will supercharge how your institutions move students forward in ways that were previously not even feasible. So it's like a transformational leap forward. I do want to our next user group is March 19th. We are going to be talking about some thought leadership as the role that AI will be playing in higher ed into the future. So it won't be like a product tour, right? We'll be like, here's how we are seeing AI or how we're seeing higher ed use AI in ways that transforms students' lives. And I'm setting the bar that high, and we're going to go over it. Like, it's that big. So if you look in your calendars and you already have it booked for March 19th, great. Make sure you come to that. It's going to be an extremely high value. I just put the other, team names down there too. If there are other people that are interested in how AI is going to be reshaping higher ed, invite them. Could you put that in the chat, Steph? I'll copy it for you. And if you want to invite them, that's the URL, Steph, for you to put it in the chat. That's the URL that they can sign up to go to it. after next month's user group webinar, um, our team will be prepared to talk in more detail about how this affects what options you have about with your use of Mongoose, or how do I get to be a part of this. But wait until after next month's webinar, and that we will be ready to have you learn more. So did I say it enough? Like, if you come to anything in the next 3 years that have to do with us, like, that is the one that you should come to. I mean, come to all of them, but
Yeah,
definitely
come to
this one.
all of them. But that one will be a particularly good one. I put that link, everyone, in your chat. So feel free to open that up and navigate to that URL to sign up. We'd love to have you.
And yeah, if you're in this one, you're probably already in that one, because we did them like every month for the year. But if you're not, use that link, like, sign up, invite your colleagues, if you want. Okay.
Love it.
So we'll also be emailing out your impact story toolkit, which will have the example impact story PDF that you saw me pull up. It will have an email template that you can use to email your impact story to leadership. It'll have Andrew Beach's AI prompt to create the best impact story ever. It's like this super long prompt. I don't know how he does it, but and will be the screenshot checklist for where you go into the product. You're going to want to look at this. You're going to look at this and look at this. So it'll have that in there too, as well as a recording of this session. So we have some time now for questions and answers.
So we've got some questions here, and folks, feel free to submit your questions to the Q&A section, and we'll answer those as they come in. But I have one for you, Dave and Kelsey. How do we present AI usage without making leadership nervous?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, I would only use the AI tool that's secure. So you're not like uploading stuff that's going to train the model. So if your institution provides you with a paid or a pro plan for any of the AI tools, I would only use that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, not that you want to like lie or something, but you wouldn't lead the email with, "Hey, I put all of our activity into AI," so you are going to want to just focus on making sure that the content is simple and clear. And your people more than I do. If it's something you'd rather rewrite on your own, then you could do that too.
Yeah, I think I'll build on what you said there at the end, Dave. I think the best use of AI is when you use it to kind of beat up your thoughts and help you formulate thoughts, and then you put your own sort of spin and your own work on top of it. There's never going to be any substitution for the power of a human eye on content and reviewing and looking over things. So I like that. I like that thought there. Here's a question. When will those AI agents be available?
What I did today is it's called, in Pro Talk, it's called a tease. So you are going to have to, it will be in 2026. It's sooner than later, but I don't want to set an expectation that we aren't having a comprehensive detail on, but next month you will have clarity on that question.
Got it. So, AKA, come to that webinar. Make sure you're signed up for that. Come to that webinar, and we can give you all the information you'll ever want to know. All right. And then, Kelsey, maybe this is one that you can answer here. It looks like in this question, this institution has Mongoose across multiple departments like admissions, advising, and advancement. So, do you have any thoughts or advice for them about how to align impact reporting when you have multiple departments that you're sort of working through?
Yeah. So if getting kind of logistic with it, if you're an admin within Mongoose and you are a part of multiple departments, we call them kind of like super admins, you have the ability to see that information. Of course, it's siloed out per team. So that's one option is if you have a holistic view. We've seen situations like that, and partners I know specifically have kind of done individual executive summaries or recaps and then used AI to do one big bundle into it. So they have multiple stories all bundled up into one that they share with leadership. I've seen that to be very successful. If you are just an admin on your team, but you're working along other departments that are also using Mongoose, we find that actually getting together on a call with during an MQR or with your dedicated client success team here at Mongoose to get everyone aligned to talk about it, just get in the same room together has also really been beneficial. So they can grab what information's working best for them. We can provide an overall summary across all departments using Mongoose, and then you can share that across the entire institution and even get other people interested in joining along.
I love that. And I remember back to a Slido answer from earlier that referenced institutions' strategic plans. So I think it would be a really powerful thing also to take these multiple departments and the outputs and the outcomes that they're having, and then map those to those strategic initiatives and those strategic plans so that you can say Mongoose is impacting the strategic plan in these key ways. I think that would be a really powerful story to tell also.
Mhm.
Thanks, Kelsey. Okay, so Dave, this one might be part of your teaser as well. Jennifer asked, sorry if I missed this part in the presentation. Is the AI agent part of Mongoose, no matter the type of contract we have with you, or is it an add-on with an extra price?
Sure. Thanks for asking that question. So there will be anybody's instance of Mongoose will be able to support the adding on of AI agents, and there will be some incremental AI offerings that are just part of our platform. But the AI agents themselves is an optional add-on to based on which options would even add value to you. So we don't have pricing information. We don't have will these use credits and all that kind of stuff. We won't be able to answer, but we'll have more input on that after next month's webinar.
Love it. Okay, so any final questions you all have, please drop those in the chat before we let you go. I think one thing I'd like to say, just as we kind of wrap up our time together today, is just like Kelsey, we have some amazing customer success managers on our team that can help you all craft these impact plans, these impact reports that you can share with stakeholders in your institution and can provide you with some of those benchmarks and really help share with you some best practices about how to write them and what to include and what to do. So please don't hesitate to reach out to your CSM to help you with those and to give you some of those insights. We're more than happy to support you in sort of validating and proving your impact with Mongoose. So I think those are all the questions we have for today. So Kelsey, Dave, magnificent. Thank you so much for your time today and for all of the information you shared with us. Thank you everyone who joined us. We know that your full-time job isn't attending webinars, so we thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. And we hope you will join us next month for our amazing AI agents webinar that we're going to share with you. So thank you for your time. I hope you have a good rest of the week and an amazing weekend. Bye, everybody.